Hey guys!
Hi!
Happy Wednesday! If you're not in New Jersey, you probably don't know that we have snow today. Yay!
Snow and ice and sleet and hail and everything.
Schools were closed, some of them. Not Ramsey.
No, not
Ramsey never closes.
And not KSDT.
And not us? No, we never close either because we're in Ramsey. We take the spirit of that town. So here we are on part 2 of our Rescue Dog series. And we have a little guest named Mello because we talked about her last week and we got a lot of like, oh, can we see Mello? So there you are. Oh, fell off the bed. So she's on a place command and we're
She's
going
a little more exuberant than Gunner was.
She's very excited to be here. She hasn't been here before. So our topic today is you took our advice, you found an awesome rescue dog or shelter dog, and now you bring it into your home. So there's a little bit of a tricky situation with that, especially when you have an established dog at home.
Yes.
And I had this experience with a client a few years ago who gave me permission to write about the story and have others learn from her epic mistake so that it wouldn't happen to you. So we, of course, expunged her name from this, and it's not her real dog's name, so we're protecting the innocent, but we did want to tell you, we're not so innocent, we do want to tell you what happened and how we fixed it, just so you don't make the same mistakes. So I'm going to start, it's a multi-part story, so we're all going to do different parts, just like reading to children. So this is the first statement that happened. She said to me, I wanted my dogs to get to know each other before we got to the house. So I brought my dog Missy with me to pick up Luke from the shelter and drove home with the 2 dogs in the back seat of my car. Yeah. Did you gasp? Did your heart stop? Yeah. Because mine did. Yeah. So first mistake is putting 2 dogs in close quarters that are unfamiliar with each other. That is recipe for a disaster.
And in a car when you're driving.
Right. And in Missy's car, who's been in that car for however, long.
And you're driving in the front seat.
Right. Yeah. And they're probably loose, not tethered.
Right.
Yeah.
Not crated.
And that's, from a safety perspective, it's completely wrong. But you know who I truly fault? Whoever watched her do this, where she picked up her dog.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Because we've seen students attempt to put their dogs in cars without seatbelts.
They
were like,
helped her.
oh, hey.
I was thinking.
They're probably like,
oh, is that Missy in there?
Oh, that's so great. You brought both of them. Yeah.
That's great.
No. Fortunately, it was them just running around in the back seat. There was no fight, but it could have easily turned into something disastrous. So please don't do that. And again, we like to stress if you do and then that's either with a crate that's tethered to your actual car. Because think about it, if you put a crate in your back seat and it's not tethered, you slam on the brakes, it goes flying.
The crate's
will really help you. Or a seatbelt, or whatever safety harness you use.
But the bottom line is, it's not a way to introduce 2 dogs in a car.
Especially, like you said, that dog's car.
So there's
a possession issue.
Car,
Little
this new
space.
dog.
Yeah. And I think people say, oh, it went so well for 3 seconds, and then they started fighting. Yeah. So just know that it's never going to go well, and you should never do that. All right. Who has part number 2?
You have 3.
3? Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm 3.
Oh, you don't have it yet?
You know what? I
did too.
I did too.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
So she said, when we got home, I let them both have free run of the house. Okay. Mistake number 2.
We're going to do that noise now.
Wrong.
Right. So, first of all, your dog should never have free run of the house. But especially, you're bringing this new dog in to introduce them to the house. Missy should not have even been there. She should have been in her crate, in her other room. And you introduce 1 room at a time. And the way we like to do it is they're on leash, so you have control of your dog. I actually have done this with clients, and we set up in the room little plates of food. And we walk in on leash, we let the dog sniff a little, we point out the cookie and we say, get it. The dog runs over, gets the cookie. Now this dog has this great feel for the house, which is, oh my gosh, there's treats in every single room. I don't have Missy and Luke together because then we're going to have the battle over who's going to get that cookie on the plate.
Yes. Could go badly.
It could go very badly.
But it's important that you have that time with the new dog to have him go through it.
Absolutely.
And then conversely, after that little session, you would flip-flop it. Potty the new dog, pop him in his crate with a really great toy antler Kong,
Right.
And then Missy can be out. And it's good for Missy to be able to access him in his crate. She can sniff him, he can sniff her, and they can get a little more familiar with each other without the potential of a fight.
Right. And reward Missy when she sees the new dog so that she thinks every time she sees the new dog, it's such a great day. I love this dog because I'm getting a super high value treat.
Right. That's like if we had a new trainer on the team, and every time Lauren walked over to her, I gave Lauren $500. She'd hang out with that new trainer all day long.
I would never leave her. She'd go to the bathroom. I'd be right there.
So that's what your dog has to think about the new dog. So really important.
Another thing too is, this new dog that has never been outside probably of the rescue or wherever is in a new environment. So it's probably scared. It's probably nervous. It doesn't know where it is. So then also having another dog there really isn't making him any better. Right. Or more comfortable, really.
Right.
And sometimes you get the opposite. A dog who's like, yep, this is mine. Going to mark it. Crazy dog and clean up that down the road. So you definitely don't want that. You want to set out the manners day one.
Right.
And I think that's important to stress. When you get a rescue dog, don't give them the whole farm for free right away.
Absolutely.
Make them earn their way into your life.
Yes.
So that's with a new dog.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially rescue.
Yeah.
You know the thing about rescue is people are like, oh, they've had such a terrible life.
Yeah.
I should make up for it
Right.
by overcomping them.
Right.
And story. You know what happens when you do that with kids.
Right. And you know what? They don't have a terrible life now because you've adopted them and they're coming into your house.
Yes.
Right. And they're going to be great. And they're going to love your new structured house.
Exactly.
Yes.
They love structure.
Structure is calmness and confidence, and you're going to like the dog better too.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, what part of the story do you have?
Okay, I have. And then Luke went to take food from Missy's bowl and she nipped him. Do you want to say the or should I say it? So I feel like the first mistake is leaving food out for a dog in general. If you have two dogs in your house, there shouldn't be anything on the floor, food, bones, really anything.
Right.
To start off, especially when you're bringing the new dog in the house. When they're eating, it should be separate for multiple reasons. One, because this can happen. A fight could break out. Two, you could have a dog that, is a little sensitive. The other dog's going to eat the other dog's food.
Yeah.
Right? And your dog's just going to eat until it explodes.
Right.
Yeah. So it's just a bad situation altogether. So food, toys, bones.
Right.
And that dog could have a problem where, what if it guards food? What if it guards toys? Something.
And you know what they'll say? Oh, no, but the shelter or rescue didn't mention that.
Right, because they don't know.
They don't know.
They might not know.
They might not know.
Right.
So
the dog may have never been in that situation before.
Exactly. Correct.
And you don't really know because you're just bringing the dog in the house. The first couple weeks, the dog is getting acclimated.
What do we call that?
The honeymoon phase.
Yeah.
You know,
oh my God, what do we call it?
I don't know. I think I know. Stop testing us.
Yeah, right? You did good.
Yeah. Anyway, the dog's personality is going to change quite a bit over the next few weeks as they become comfortable and confident, which could go either way.
And don't test, the dog if it's going to be good or bad with your own dog.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The dog with a kid.
Because your dog is going to change as well.
Exactly.
Yes. And that's why you have to structure their life. Keep it
Yes.
structured, keep your training up. Don't ditch your dog to the other dog and say, now I have two dogs, they can take care of themselves, they can entertain themselves, and don't do that. Be a very strong figure in their life. Continue to do that.
The other thing too is that on my thing that I have, always make sure that if you do have the two dogs out or the one dog or whatever, to keep a leash on your dogs. That's so important. Just keep a leash, just something thin, nothing crazy, just in case if that situation does happen, or if you have to get one dog and you can grab them by the leash and you're not reaching for collars or whatever. So
when you're supervising. If you're taking a shower, they should be crated, correct, or gated, or whatever you do to contain your dog. Because you don't want your house decorated in contemporary labradoodle. Nobody does.
No.
Crates are going to be your best friend.
Stylist got out. All right, so I get the next part of the story. It's when Luke went into the other room and he grabbed a toy and Missy growled. So that's when the sky is falling to people like, oh my God, my dog growled. But you know what? Growling is okay because she said, you know what? That's mine and I don't want you near it. If you take away her ability to growl, then what happens is then she doesn't growl anymore. She goes right on the attack. So first of all, I would have liked the owner to have been in the room, right?
Exactly.
So she could have seen Missy getting tense, and then she could have interrupted, like, okay, guys, let's move around. Or, again, to Lauren's point, maybe toys shouldn't have been all over that they all have access to. But these are things that happen, and it's a way for a dog to say, I don't want you near that. And as much as you feel like, oh, let Lukey play with your toys, that's not how it goes with dogs. They have stuff they want, just like people do. Right? So whether it's your car or your really expensive shoes, you just don't want people grabbing them and taking them. You want to give permission. And especially in this early stage, I think the biggest problem was that there was so much to get access to, the food and the toys.
Right.
That it was very tense for the first
I feel like,
couple
do you also
hours.
notice that, I mean, this probably happened in what, the first 15 minutes, right?
Exactly.
Like all of these things have just happened within the first 15 minutes of the dog being at your house.
Right. Way too much. Because the car ride probably did the both of them.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, they got introduced to a tight little
Missy
car.
was like, when is this dog getting out of the car?
And then
we're dropping them off.
Wait, he's in my house eating my food and playing with my toys.
That's my toy. Don't touch that.
She was so over him at that point.
Right.
Yeah. She was
And
over
so
the car.
my next part of the story is when Missy growled at Luke, the owner pet Luke and said, it's okay, don't worry about it, and reprimanded Missy more. Now, like we said, there was nothing wrong with what Missy did. She just said, get away from my stuff. And in dog language, Luke should have said, okay, I will. Instead of the owner really kind of praising Luke and reprimanding Missy. So what did that teach Missy? Oh, this new kid just came into my house and you're going to side with him every time he comes in. So you don't want to do that.
No. It's like, and she would escalate it, like any dog would.
Absolutely.
So now the growl doesn't work because he gets petted when she growls at him.
Right.
So now she has to go in and like grab him.
Yeah.
Which, then you're going to be at the vet. So we don't want that to happen. Don't champion the underdog.
Yeah.
On the first 15 minutes.
Because you really don't even know who the other underdog is.
You don't.
Sometimes you bring a dog into your family who actually has more quality of being a leader, and that's going to sort itself, but only with your continued involvement and monitoring and close presence when they're out together.
Me, that's me. I'm the next. Okay, so later on, so throughout the day, I went out to get the mail, and when I walked into the house, both dogs ran to greet me, but got into another fight. This time I put Missy in the yard and let her think about what she did wrong.
Oh.
Missy was probably like, I am so glad to be out in the yard.
Right. That was you think
Get
that
away
you're,
from these
giving her a timeout, but really you just gave her free run yard, which is probably what she absolutely loves. So you just rewarded her for getting into a fight with this dog, right? So that doesn't really make any sense.
And it's not unusual for dogs to have disagreements at locations that are doorways.
Right.
Or tight areas.
High aroused.
The door open. Missy was like, oh, my mom.
Right.
Body. And then boom.
Yeah. And then, no, that's
So we would also like to mention the fact that we don't want the dogs left together, even if you're going just to the mail. That's 5 seconds too long. Because you don't know.
And how far is your mailbox? My mailbox is actually across the street. Like I have to actually leave my house and go. I don't even leave my dogs together. I'm like, here you go.
No.
We'll have you guys right from the
thing.
crate.
It takes a couple seconds, So
we know too much.
Yeah.
Things happen. We hear stories every day.
Yeah.
And especially an unknown quantity. Or the two of them are an unknown quantity together.
Right.
So
and now you're not in the room, so who knows what's going to happen.
Right.
It
can be.
Which is usually when it does happen, when you're usually not in the room because you're not paying attention.
Right.
But it does have a happy ending. Just in case you wanted to know.
The story?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're almost there.
Yeah. Is it me again?
I think so, yeah.
Don't you have to go there?
I just did 7.
Oh, I'm 8. Okay. All right. So she says, my other dog knows I love her, so I feel okay when I give the new dog more attention. After all, he was dumped on the street, and I feel so bad for him.
There it is.
There's the story.
There it is.
Right. And so we've said this a million times. Everyone has a past, right? This new dog, Luke, has a beautiful future now. He's living in this wonderful house. It's not Missy's fault, right? She still needs to get all of the love that she normally got. We have to make her feel just as important. And like I said in the beginning, when you introduce a new dog, I want you to feed your old dog every time that new dog comes into the room so that they want that dog in the house too. I actually did that when my kids were born. Each time I had a child, the new baby I gave them toys. At the time, it was dinosaurs.
My sister-in-law does that when
Yeah.
she comes over because my niece is there and she's 4 and we have the new baby. So every time she comes over, she brings my niece a gift.
And Riley loves the baby.
Well, I think she loves Desiree for giving her a gift. But, but yes, no, and that's what she said. She's like, I want her to enjoy having the baby here, and I give
Exactly.
Like,
it just makes it a positive experience. Makes her want the baby to come in, just like now, Missy will want Luke to come in.
Right.
And it's really not that hard. It's just you thinking outside of the box or thinking against your instincts, right? To try to compensate for what the dog has been through or to try to make your dog sort of be submissive or subservient to the new one. And just you being in control and having little training sessions together and doing things like that, structuring your household correctly, it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
That's why we do a multiple dog household seminar. We do that every month or 2 months. And we talk about how to make a dissension type household come together.
Yeah.
And it really is a lot about you and your rules and your structure and things like that. It can be done. Totally. We all have multiple dogs. Well, you don't have multiple dogs.
No, and I don't.
Not yet.
Yeah, I do.
I have multiple children.
Just have one.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, it is.
Just no crates.
All right.
That's true.
So next week is part 3 of this awesome 3-part series. And I bet you guys don't know what it's about. It's a surprise.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to tell us?
No.
Oh.
She'll tell us after. I'm the worst secret keeper.
She might tell you guys right now.
Brittany, what's it about?
It's pretty much how to manage them afterwards. Like, so the long run, like how to create that structure in the house.
Long term.
Yeah.
So we went through all the problems and pitfalls. Next week is going to be how to actually do what we just talked about.
Because it can be fixed. It can be fixed with management.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And how to introduce them.
We do that. We do this every day.
Yes.
All right. So we, as always,
Where are you going, Lauren?
I was reading the things. Kathy Goldberg says, maybe someday a friend. I think she's talking about getting friends.
Yes. Friends told us that the last time we saw him.
I was going to say, do you
He
want
had a brother.
You can have one of my dogs.
Friends.
You can have a little one.
Mello goes, I can come visit friends. That'd be fun. All right. As always, like, follow, and share the page and the video with your friends, people you know. This can help make a difference in their and their dog's lives. If you're not a student, jump in and join our free Facebook group.
Yes.
We will post a link in the comment, and we do a lot of fun stuff there. More training aspect to dogs. This group is super fun, and we do a lot of fun things, pictures and stuff like that. But if you join our free training group, you will get a lot more of the training stuff that I know you guys need. If you are a student, comment, and we'll private message you and give you a link into our student-only group. Yeah, it's super special, and you guys can get some training stuff and pretty much going along the curriculum of stuff we do at school. And if you have questions, we'll do videos and clarify stuff like that. But it's all fun, and you have an opportunity to be in either group. And if you are a student and you have friends, go into the non-student group. Just unless they get to, love to see you. Come on over.
And we're always on there, so we're always there to answer anybody's questions. Or
have you noticed how much we're on that Facebook group?
Oh, I'm on it all the time.
We actually do work in real life. We run a dog school all day, 7 days a week. But we are obsessed with answering your questions and making sure you get what you need from us because we know it's important. And our goal, our mission, is to have a world where all dogs are trained, at least through basic commands that make your life easier so they don't get returned to shelters. And when you get them out of shelters, they become the dog that you always want to have around. So that's our goal, and we're going to help you do that.
And to that point, before you end, it's great because when somebody does talk about something that's happened, so many other people are like, oh my God, that happens to me too. So ask us questions.
Right.
You know, it helps so many people when you do it.
And these lives, we just talk and talk and talk, but like Lauren's checking the questions. If you pop up and ask a question, we'll answer it live too, so that's another format.
Somebody actually just asked if we can go over some potty training tips, but we could probably post something on the website.
We have a lot of potty training tips. Do we want to make a PDF or something like that?
Yeah, totally. We can post a scheduler for them if you want.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Where should we post it? In this group or make a whole new post or have them?
If they're in a student,
why don't they get our?
They can go to our they can go to the student group if they're a student. If not, we can post it in the free group as well, just so we can share that.
We'll post it in the free group and the student group.
Let's do both.
Yay!
That's not confusing.
So that's incentive for you to jump over and PM if you're a student, we'll get you in, and if you're not, just jump on over. It's called Kathy Santo's free
dog training group.
Dog training group.
It's linked to the Facebook page.
Okay, cool. So, and if you have problems, always PM us. We'll help you out. But we will post housebreaking inspirations in there.
What? You're laughing because she said PM.
I don't know. We talked about it when we were done.
Wait a minute. This is you know what happened last week? All right, we're gonna get closed captioning for these videos because last week we were talking about rescue groups.
Yeah.
And I said, you avoid these pitfalls.
Yeah.
And somebody thought I said avoid pit bulls.
Oh
no.
So
we love pits.
Yeah.
Like 50%.
Who thought that?
A poor listener thought that. So
Oh, no, absolutely.
we quickly clarified that, and we are getting closed captioning because of that little.
Or we're going to have to enunciate.
No, I got much longer.
Closed captions are fine.
Yeah, you can't understand our accents anyway.
Yeah.
That's why I love my friend Kamal. He does awesome videos. He's in London. And you just like listening to them talk. I mean, they don't have our flat American
We can
accent.
talk with British accents.
I could.
Oh, that would be fun.
Kathy
One day.
Goldberg is also asking about fostering a dog with a dog already in the home.
Yeah, I would say it's the exact, so you would follow the same rules. And Kathy, do you know what fostering means? Do you know what the definition of that means? Yeah, it means you're just lying to yourself until you actually adopt the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we think it is.
It's like a practice run to make sure that you like the dog.
Yeah, and then you wind up with the dog.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we have experienced that. I have. You have.
You certainly have.
I have. We're not talking about that though. Anyway. Oh my God. Same thing.
That's it. I'm done.
All right. We will see you guys next week. We will have more fun and hilarity as always. And if you need us, you know where to find us. And have an awesome week. Bye, guys.
Bye.